The Baltimore Ceasefire is happening again this weekend. Amid a recent rise in murders, the quarterly weekend call to stop murder is seeing its fourth weekend since August of 2017. Every ceasefire weekend in Baltimore brings a growing list of events that promote nonviolence. The last ceasefire weekend in February of 2018 not only saw 0 murders, but in the following days, Baltimore went a total of 12 days without murder. On this weekend, Mother's Day weekend, a Saturday event is a pancake breakfast to honor a group that we rarely hear from as it relates to murders, the fathers. What happens to the men who lose their children to violence? Is there a place for them to go and talk about their grief, to fellowship with those who are members of a club no parent ever wants to join?
You know, we're big supporters of the Baltimore Ceasefire. That hits on one of our issues that we're really passionate about, violence prevention. So we're just out here to host a life-affirming event for the community, to bring the community together and not forget the ones who have lost loved ones to violence in the streets of Baltimore, to let them know they're not alone and they have members in the community that support them.
And it's letting the community know that there's people out here that cares. There was a big feeling of hopelessness, people getting killed and shot, and some people felt like they were suffering alone and that they had nobody to feel their pain or understand their pain. So when they see organizations like this that actually come together, that say, my organization is this, his organization is this, but together as a community, we want to stop the violence and come together and make sure that there's peace, then it's a big deal.
The breakfast was organized by 3 groups: Black Fathers, Band of Brothers, and Black Daddy Gang. 3 groups in Baltimore that promote fatherhood. All year long, they promote fathers building healthy relationships with their children. They work to dispel the stigma of absentee black fathers. This is the first breakfast, and it appears to be much needed.
B, being accountable. R, reversing stereotypes. O, owning our destiny. V, vigilant in our fight. A, accepting our leadership roles. And Z, zero tolerance for injustice.
Erica Bridgeford, who some call the mother of the ceasefire movement, has worked in conjunction with her brother, Nathan Pop Thomas of Band of Brothers.
I lost a brother, I believe back in '07. I don't really keep time with it because it's not good for me mentally. But yeah, I lost a brother. He lived a life of crime, as I did. He took another route than I did. I sold drugs. He decided to use them, and it kind of haunted him. He was murdered, shot about 6 to 8 times, left dead on the street. I actually had to go identify his body. So I had a choice to either avenge his death or avenge violence itself. And there was some brief moments where I wanted to avenge his death. And I acted foolishly, and I decided that that wasn't the best way to handle it. The best way was to go at violence itself.
Erica and Nathan lost a brother to violence, so their father, Michael, is especially glad to be present.
My son, Nathan Thomas, told me about this I'm going to say maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. He said there was going to be an event honoring black fathers who've lost children to violence. And unfortunately, I'm one of those. I fit into that category. And so I thought that it was a major thing to me to be here, because I've never heard of anything like this. I've seen a lot of situations where they have events honoring moms who've lost children, and honoring even siblings of deceased family members. But I haven't seen anything done for dads. And so when I heard this was going to be done, I had to be here.
The Baltimore 365 will celebrate its 1-year anniversary during the next ceasefire in August of 2018. The original idea was to just have one weekend calling to stop the killings. But when the frustrations of citizens who have seen little results from a corrupt police force, little change from City Hall or Maryland's state capitol, and waves of hopelessness rang out louder and louder, ceasefire went 365. They're gaining more and more resources, with roughly 48 events happening throughout the city this weekend. For the Real News Network, with Will Arenas, I'm Easy Jackson.
Got the town looking stupid, 'cause another chump